right now. Right now, I'm just happy to have Jordan. Those of you guys who don't know who he is, he'll introduce himself in a second, but he's been on my channel a number of times. There's a link to his software but in the description. But what we're going to talk about is this whole dropshipping software, what it takes, why he's into it, the type of money the investment takes, how long, the whole nine. So Jordan, can you just introduce yourself really quickly?
Yeah, sure. It feels a little redundant at this point now, but I guess we have some new people who visit us each time, right? So hi everybody. Happy to be on again. Today we'll talk about software and what type of investments go into it and all the rest. I'm a veteran, I guess, software development guy. I tend to be more focused on the business end of things, but I can still talk the talk with regards to the technical specifications of the softwares. And I tend to project manage the development teams as well. So right now our focus at OA Genius is inventory, sourcing, price, and order management and automation for Amazon sellers. And we're slowly adding on services for Walmart sourcing, inventory, price, and order management. So that's sort of where we're at today. And yeah, I'll bring it back to Mark for some questions, and then you know, he's the ringleader here. So
right. So I have some personal questions. So those of you guys who may have just started to follow me, I myself and my ex-business partner built one of the first eBay dropshipping software platforms, and I know the challenges involved in building software, especially someone like myself who has no experience in it. And I just kind of like bootstrapped it, stayed up late hours with my business partner, built a piece of software. We made some money. We didn't continue reinvesting to evolve. So I just decided at a certain point it was better to move on and go in a different direction. So what I want to do first is come from my perspective and my experience of building software and knowing how challenging it is, and ask my questions, and then let people on YouTube and Facebook ask their questions. What's up, Tom? If that's okay.
Yeah, that sounds perfect actually, because you know, there's obviously a lot of different perspectives on, you know, what it takes to build software, what the ups and downs are, what the upside potential is. Right. The road to profitability and all the rest. And you know, I think between the two of us, you obviously decided to not continue with that venture. You know, I guess I have. So we could probably have a good conversation about what it takes and what the pros and cons are.
Right. And one of the reasons why I decided, because in my partnership, I was more of the marketing person involved. So I knew that I had that part more under control and I wasn't dependent on someone else. So that's kind of why. So first, how long have you had OA Genius? When did OA Genius first start to sell to the public?
Selling to the public is probably about 3 years now. Just coming up on 3 years exactly. Almost. Yeah, we took on our first clients probably late 2017. Yeah, something like that.
And then before it was launched, what was the time it took to develop it? Like a month, 2 months, like?
Yeah, so like initial version of the application was something like, when you start to build software, you never think it's going to be this huge project and thing. It's like, oh, it's so easy. Like I just need this and I just need that. I just need, you know, I remember, and our first developer who we had, who started building the tool and basically has built and touched almost every single piece of the software, who is still with us, thankfully. And he's one of our lead developers. You know, so the first iteration was just, I just need to upload the spreadsheet. I don't need a user interface for listing or any of that. I need to upload a spreadsheet. These are the parameters I'm going to put in the spreadsheet. And then I need the software to just monitor inventory. I'm going to do order management on the software. I'm going to do price management outside of the software, everything else outside of the software. That's all I need, right? And so we got that up and running. That probably took, let's call it a month or so of that, right? But it wasn't really a month, because then I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I mean, like, is this gonna ever be for anybody else? Like, oh, I'm gonna build it so that other people can use the software too, not just me. So what do? Oh, so now you need user logins. Oh, okay, so you need password management. Oh, great. Okay, so add that on. Oh, okay, cool. You want people to be able to invite their team. Oh, user management. So it just kind of snowballed from there. And so like the initial iteration, I'd say, like with logins and passwords and email confirmation and everything else, took a few months to build. And that was the most simple version. But even at the most simple version that we had, it was already 10 times better than what I was using before that. So I was using another piece of software that's I think maybe still in existence. Not really sure how strong at this point. But I realized that the monitoring wasn't very accurate. I was out of stock on items that were in stock a lot of the time, and in stock on items that were out of stock. And so when you're in that scenario for too much of the day, then everybody else is scooping up your sales. And I didn't even realize what the extent of that was until I had the dumbest and worst iteration of what I had, what we built. And then I was like, okay, well, we went from doing 10 sales a day or 15 sales a day to 50 sales, all right, or 70 sales. And so then I was like, oh, okay, well, this makes sense, right? That's what we need. We need accurate inventory management.
And so, okay, it took a couple months, it took a couple months to get there. And how much money did you have to spend in those couple months?
Yeah, so I mean, let's call it like one developer, one developer for those few months, like 15, 20. Let's call it like 20, 25 grand over the course of the first few months to get like the initial iteration of it out, which I was okay with, because like obviously like I was self-funding it. But it was my project, right? And I knew that there was a path to profitability for the software itself. I was funding it from my own dropshipping profits, which only got stronger as I was making the software stronger.
Okay. How long were you dropshipping before you started to make the software that gave you the confidence to make the software?
Yeah, maybe about two plus years, something like that. And I was working at App Eagle Informed. You were working there and dropshipping on Amazon. Yeah, exactly. So like I took on the project of, so I didn't know. Okay, let me back up just a little. I didn't even know. Okay, so I was working at Informed in the repricing and stuff like that, and like I always tried to immerse myself in the product that I'm actually selling and marketing and using, right? So, but I never really had a use for Informed, or App Eagle as it was at that point in time. I never had a use case to use it myself. So like I as much as I wanted to like guide the customer service team and the development team and the product management of the software, when I was working there, like I wasn't a seller myself, so I didn't really, like there was an extent to how I could think about the strategies and like how to reprice against other competitors and stuff like that. And I said, if I could just find some products to sell, then maybe I could immerse myself in this and I'll learn the whole thing from the beginning to end. And then I really know how to use Informed, and then I could guide the clients and I could build content around that.
Right.
And so I still didn't know where to find products from. And then what I saw was that Ecom Solutions had been doing this thing with retail or an online arbitrage dropship. And I looked at that model and I'm like, okay, well, now I have product. I mean, like everybody has the same product, access to the same product.
Yeah.
I have product to sell. I opened a selling account and I learned to do it on their software. And so I built it up until I was like, okay, well, this software sucks. Now I know how to build software and I know what to build it for, because obviously, I'm selling and I'm doing well, selling, million plus a year. I could probably build 10 times better software than this. And so I did. So that's what started me off on the journey.
Wow. Okay. And how many years did you spend at App Eagle Informed?
I think it was 7 years, 7.5 years.
Wow. And what exactly did you do there? Like,
so I did everything. I was probably, I think it was like either the first or second employee. There were like 4 of us there when I first started. It was 2 of my buddies from like childhood. We used to waiter together. Ages 13 through like 18 or so. And they started up that software, had like a bit of success, and then took me from my sort of corporate job back into like a startup environment. Started with them.
And what corporate job did you have before you go there?
I was working at Experian in their marketing services, so email marketing for US-based American Express account. So all emails for American Express US went through myself and my team from an operational perspective. So segmentation, optimization, testing, development, and all the rest went through the Experian marketing services at the time.
Wow. Okay.
So when I jumped ship to there, so I did everything there. I mean, like my core competency before I got there was like customer success and support. So I helped to build that team out first, and then I guess like just my strongest skill set is probably like business development and creating partnerships and stuff like that. So I moved into like a bit of a sales biz dev position, and then built out a couple person team below me for that, and then ended up managing the marketing team as well. And then once all of that was set up, so we had 4, 5, 6 people on customer service or customer success, 2, 3 people biz dev, another 3, 4 people in marketing. And then, so once all those teams were set up and was managing from like a higher level, started getting into like the brain of the seller and how that works, and started product managing and shifting the focus to actually forming the perfect software for a seller who wants to reprice. And so that brought me into like more of a little bit more technical of a role, a little bit more of a project management role, and taught me a lot of the things that I use today to continue to build and develop this software.
Right. So then when you were dropshipping, was it for a year, 6 months, 2 years before you jumped ship?
So I did it for a while.
And once, guys, you guys will ask questions. We'll go. Jordan and I will talk for a while. I've seen some questions that you guys want to ask, but we'll get to opening question and answers. Give us like 50 more minutes. But go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm seeing them down the right hand side also.
Yeah.
We'll just get to. I promise I'll answer all the questions before we get off this this live between myself and Mark. So I guess it must have been like 3 years or so. Something like that. 2.5 years.
Okay.
And then like it just didn't make sense anymore. Like we were bringing on clients, so it didn't really make sense, and I needed to shift all my focus to
the quality of the software.
Yeah, to the product. Yeah, like it's a difficult sort of task to manage too much, right? So like I try to stay focused on things that are income producing for me and what I'm best at, and I just felt like I didn't really want to split my time that way. And so like once the product got strong enough and enough clients were on board and I needed to focus on their success, I pulled the plug on that.
Okay. And when you started, like, did you get your development team physically from where you are? Is it that you had development?
It's funny. So like, no, so we've never had a home-based office. I work out of an office now. I worked out of my attic for the first 2.5 years or so. Now I work out of an office by myself. But yeah, none of the employees of the company have ever worked out of like a corporate office. We're spread out around the U.S. and Europe. It's pretty cool. So like even pre-pandemic or anything else like that, we were almost ahead of the game, I guess. Like I had looked at like a bunch of companies that were always remote companies, and it was always kind of intriguing to me. I've been able to have access to both experiences.
Right.
Like I've worked out of a big corporate office. I've worked out of a small startup corporate office, and with other people. And I've worked with a remote team. I thought that it was going to be harder to be fully remote as a company. But we just sort of started off that way and continued with it, and it ended up landing us where we are, which is sort of in the position that a lot of companies that weren't remote before are in now anyway. The only difference is that we already have 3-4 years of experience of doing it. We don't know any different. So it like kind of is the same for us. So it's like, it's actually amazing, and I really think that we benefit from that, because you do lose a little bit of the cultural stuff of like, like the office culture and stuff like that. But I think you also ultimately lose a bit of the drama of like a bunch of people. There's sort of that. So there's none of that.
Oh God, I didn't want to talk about it. But God.
Maybe I'm just lucky. I don't know. Maybe we're lucky, and we're very selective about the people that we hire, and like we're very slow to hire and we're very quick to fire. So like the team that we have right now is like they're rock stars. We're super excited about everyone on the team. Everybody brings their personality and stuff like that. So it's not just all work. But yeah, I mean, like it's I don't even know where I was going with that point.
How big is your team now?
I think we're 10 or so, maybe 10 plus. It might be 10 or 11.
And how do you
maybe more than that. I think we might be 12. I have to go through it. I'll do that calculation while we're continuing.
Okay, and how do you measure? How do you manage their success? How do you manage their execution? How do you manage their goals? And also remotely, yeah.
So we do everything's monitored like so it's kind of on an honor system, I guess, right? But like we get to see each other's output. We collaborate within Slack and Trello for project management. It's a very simple tool, but it's an effective tool. It's organized enough for us. They integrate into Slack specifically. So we get push and pull from there. Mostly it's we try to be pretty loose with our timelines and stuff like that, and I think that's benefit us because the people that we're working with are professionals. I think like the average career length of a person on our team is plus 10 years. So, we're not really working with very many entry level people, employees, and so that's by design. So like while we may pay a little bit more in terms of salaries and stuff like that, the benefit is that I never had to train as much or babysit as much or anything like that. Everybody's like sort of like siloed and in charge of their own sort of pillar of the business. So whether it's development, if it's on the front end of the development, the back end, the bug fixing, the scraping technologies, like the Chrome extension, each person has their own like area of expertise, an area of responsibility, and it's pretty clear when. Let's just put it this way: it would be pretty clear if the person wasn't performing within their role. specific role, and they weren't out doing the new functionality and innovating and and moving at a steady pace with the rest of the group. And it's not even really about that. These people are so experienced, and they want to perform well for themselves.
Yeah.
It's almost like I don't need to challenge them. They're challenged by the work on its own, and just like getting it out and like solving the solution and pushing a fix or like throwing out a new piece of functionality. Like that's a challenge of enough for themselves, and like that helps them get through their day. Like I'm not very on top of people's timelines and stuff like that. Normally I'm probably the biggest bottleneck of the company, because I'm like almost final review on every piece of functionality and feature. And I'm lucky enough to have a team that's delivering these things to me like almost daily. So like when things aren't going out fast enough, it's probably me being the bottleneck. So when that's the case, I think you're in a good sort of scenario.
And what is your work day like as the CEO of a software company?
Oh my God, it is so ridiculous. Like every day I wake up very early, super early. I mean, I guess let's call it. I'm up by 6. I try to be at my desk by 7 or 7:30. And every day I think I'm like, oh, I don't have to rush into the office. Like I'm good. I don't even really think I have that much on my plate today. Right? And then the second I sit at my chair till the second I go home to be with my family or grab some dinner, right, before I go back to my desk again. I am just nonstop. And like, so the first half of the day is dealing with development and making sure everybody's set up for success and any questions or anything going on there. And so a lot of project management type stuff, like early part of the day. And then the second part of the day might be stuff like this, which is like, this is really just fun stuff for me. This is like how I take some time out of like the regular work day and like maybe like some of the monotony, but just trying to work on new projects and like think of new ideas and look at the business from like a wide angle. Deal and help with my any customer support inquiries, all bugs that are coming through. If there are any in aggregate, like a lot of people are experiencing one thing or stuff like that, I'll get updates from my customer success team and then work through that with the development team, and then like really maybe like an hour or two of like brainstorming on how to make just the overall business run better. See if we need any more personnel, see if we have room for any new functionality, think of new ideas, document them, and then, the day is sort of over.
And what time is that?
So then I come back to my desk after dinner. And usually that's when I get to test new functionality. Like anything new that I'm the bottleneck on, right? So like between, let's call it 7:30 or 8 p.m. until I try to leave my desk before 12 if possible, but sometimes I end up being there until like 2 or 3.
Okay, the other night I messaged you at 11 o'clock, right? And I actually didn't expect you to respond, and you responded pretty quickly because of the work message. Were you working at that time? It was 11. It was like 11:30 your time because it was 10:30 my time. Were you working?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably like 2 to 3, right? So like between the hours of 8 and 12, nobody really is online, right? So like my European team is not really online yet. Like I'll catch them towards like 1 a.m.
Right.
Because they'll be waking up. And my customer success team is pretty much off. My US based developers will sometimes be online, believe it or not. you know, helping out or whatever. But that's when I get to do all the stuff that that I need to be uninterrupted with, like testing the software for functionality, and like just smoke testing everything, like making sure that when I release a new piece of a feature or a function, that it's going to go well for everybody, and it's not going to break any other pieces of the software for the thousands of clients that it's currently servicing, right? So that's when I got that working. And then, like, if I'm lucky enough, I don't get interrupted by like other drop shippers who are, you know, who are just like looking to chat about like the next big opportunity or something like that.
Right.
You know, like, yeah. So like me and you might get into something for like I don't know, 15 minutes, a half hour. That'll sidetrack me a bit in a good way. And then if I have like a few other friends like that just like be like, oh, what about this idea? Like, oh, you know, we got DoorDash orders, we got TBA tracking numbers, how do we fix all this issues? How are we going to get around it? And that's like fun stuff to brainstorm. And so that goes on like after hours.
Right. And do you work on the weekends, or do you separate that time to like be ready
for me, really, especially because we're dealing with so many people's businesses. Like I try to do this. I try to not go to my computer between Friday and Saturday night, like not sit at an actual computer.
Yeah.
But I will be on Zendesk for customer support, making sure that nothing crazy is happening over the weekend, like no real big functionalities down, no big emergencies. I check in on that multiple times throughout the weekend. And basically anything I could do from my phone, I'll do between Friday and Saturday night. And then like Sunday, I'll sit down. If I need to, I'll sit down for a bit. But that's just kind of new. Like I used to work 7 days a week, no matter what. Like maybe like the past few months, I've just been trying to separate the weekends a little bit. But I'll still get like, sometimes I'll still have to sit down for like an hour or two on a Sunday.
And how often do you take vacation?
Well, now it's like a different story. So like, let's not consider this year.
Yeah. When you started,
actually, like I'm away a lot. I love to travel, so like that's one of the big things for me. The good thing about it is that you know, since we're an all remote team, you know, like I can do my job from anywhere, right? I just bring my laptop and you know, same with everybody from my team. Some of the European team that actually lives here in the US goes back to Romania or wherever they're from for months at a time. No skin off our back. Everything's, you know, status quo, business as usual. But yeah, I mean, like I go, since I left Informed, I actually have done a ton of traveling. Really a lot, like maybe more than I ever have. And I already traveled a lot before that. Just I'm not under the restraints of you only have 2 weeks a year or 3 weeks a year, right? So like when you're your own boss to some degree, you're never off fully. I'm not
right.
You know, what's vacation to me? I'm on a beach or in a foreign country. That's beautiful and everything else, but I'm working. I work every day. You know, like I don't really differentiate the two. Like I definitely get a few hours in front of my computer a day, even while I'm on these trips. And the rest of the day I'm available on my phone. So like nothing really changes when I'm in the country or not. So I don't know. I probably traveled like 3 months last year or the year before that. You know, like 2-3 week trips at a time. You know, like 2-3 trips a year or something like that.
Okay, and when you build a software company like this in a gray, strange area, the size of the market isn't that big and so on. What is the goal? What is the end goal? Is it cash flow in a multi-business? Is it sell? What's the goal? When you started it, what's the goal? Did the goal change? And now that you're a few years in, what's the goal?
Yeah, so initially it was just you know, it was just cash flow and like so the business model was there. I knew there were other people that were doing this business. I didn't know the size of the market. I had a feeling that it was X. It's it's probably still around that number that I thought it was, or more at this point. The goal is cash flow, right? Because I don't think any reputable sort of, not that we're not reputable, right? No, but really, like, I don't think any other like software that's not, that's not against the TOS or something like that would potentially, those would be the people that would be interested in purchasing a software like this, right? Presumably. I don't think they would be just for the sheer, just because, it is sort of like a gray-ish area. Even though that's kind of silly because like company still operates, makes money and all the rest. So like, if you think about it from a business perspective, who cares? It's not like, we're just delivering products from, one place to another, like it's not, we're just giving people, we're just putting boxes in people's hands that ordered them. So like, we're not really doing anything all that bad, at all. And so, yeah, so the goal is cash flow. The other goal is to eventually roll and pivot this business into something that is completely above board for the platform that we're working on. The infrastructure is there for inventory, price, order management, and all the rest. We can easily help our clients that are currently doing X business model with us right now get into another business model if we thought that they were going to be even mildly as profitable as the one that we're in right now. Right. On that, but I've tried almost every one of these business models. FBA, wholesale FBA, private label, Shopify, regular merchant fulfilled, holding inventory and shipping it. This is by far the most lucrative one. And in terms of risk, like, I guess it's risky from a perspective of you could get suspended, but every single one of those business models is risky from a perspective of you can get suspended. Amazon's just a beast, for sure. And that's why we're preaching like diversifying at this point. Not because the opportunity is greater than Amazon for the time being. I don't think it is yet, but the opportunity to diversify is very appealing into Walmart specifically, because that's another proven business model, not like the Shopifys or the private labels and stuff like that I've been privy to. And yeah, so like that's the thing, like Amazon's a beast, and they're I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the reports from out of the EU that they're being scrutinized for like stealing product data on like private label products and creating like that and stuff like that. This is just the beginning, and the EU is more strict, but it's going to come to the US too, and people are going to start suing them, and that's great, but right now they have too much power. And so the suspensions are rampant at all times, and it doesn't matter what the business model is. If you're in this business, you better roll with the punches. You better realize what the opportunity is and what the risk is. Our risk is great, and the opportunity is greater, and you just have to figure out ways to mitigate that risk within any business. It's not just this business. There's risk in any business. Is the reward as great in the other businesses is the question. But you have to be willing to invest in it, like nobody in the history of anybody has created a business without any money. You have to have some money. This one doesn't require that much upfront investment. But, don't be afraid to spend money on a lawyer to help you through things, or ask questions to, or make sure that you're not going to get suspended, or, figure out where you're going to get invoices for the products in case you get pulled up on an authenticity complaint or anything else. Like, these are real things. Find a real supplier, find a real vendor, like make sure you're backed up on some of your products at least.
Right. And you all are moving into Walmart, launching a Walmart dropshipping software, right?
Yeah.
Why are you moving to Walmart? One,
Mm-hmm.
how long did it take to plan to make that decision? And then how long did it take to develop the product, and when do you plan to launch? So like, just kind of run down. First of all, why? Why Walmart?
Yeah, why? So the why is always because of demand, right? Anything that you see in OAG is demand based at this point. The initial demand came from myself and my own store. The future demand comes from our clients. These are people who are reaching out to us, who are doing the business currently, who are having success with specific suppliers. Why don't we support 500 different suppliers? Because our clients are not demanding 500 different suppliers.
Right.
They're making tons of money with the suppliers that are there. So why is there auto ordering on Walmart and not on any of our other sources? Because that's where our clients are making the most money, making the most sales from, having the most operational things. Where's the upside for us in the auto ordering, right? So like everything is demand based, and then the next natural progression for us was to see where the most demand was from a marketplace perspective. And the question was, is it Amazon.com? Sorry, Amazon.mx, Amazon.ca for Canada, or another, right? eBay or Walmart or any other, right? And so like this is by both by popular demand and by research, right?
Right.
So I had already seen the market shifting towards Walmart as a marketplace. Then our clients started requesting it. Then people started using like other, hacky sort of like integrations into one another.
Yeah.
Right. And like doing all these different things. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you don't need to jump through hoops. Let me just, integrate that into our own software. So it's all demand based, and it always has been, and it will continue to be that way. So a lot of demand for this marketplace. Then I basically wanted to see what the clients were experiencing. I opened up a store, see how hard that was. I tried to do it myself. I did it. It was not easy, but it happened.
Right. How long did it take for you? How long it took you to open a Walmart store?
The funny thing is, I started the process like maybe 3-4 years ago.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I actually created the partnership in between Informed and Walmart. So I have.
Okay.
So like when that happened, I just like opened an account. I was like, oh, why shouldn't I just open an account here? Like whatever. I saw what was going on then. I mean, even the clients.
Oh wow! I remember you mentioned that when we were speaking last time. But okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and so like I couldn't believe it then. Like these weren't drop shippers then, but 5 years ago there were people doing 100 orders a day or 150 orders a day on Walmart. So there's definitely there was definitely like sales there. It's not like I guess like there was no competition really.
Right.
Then for sure. Now there's still no competition, but
yeah.
And there really was no competition. Whoever was doing it was like really crushing it.
No, but I found it like their stores still doing 40-50% margin drop shipping, which is insane.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, and so there's not a lot of competition still, I think. Like this is the beginning. We're just like scratching the surface now on Walmart. Like this is the true beginning of Walmart as a marketplace, and the opportunity and the sales and all the rest. And yeah, so that's that. We started building probably like we started planning maybe like 6 months ago or 8 months ago. You have to there's a lot of research that goes into the build and how it's going to work. And, there's a lot of really small, intricate questions, how the lister works, what goes on with it, how do we monitor inventory, where's it going to go, how's it going to go, what are you going to list with, a UPC or this, right? So like there's tons of different permutations, and you gather all those thoughts into a Trello card, and then you ask a few people who are way smarter than you to evaluate it and see what you missed. and there's a lot that you missed, and then you start to build that, and then even after it's built, you missed a few other things, and so that's what happens. So we probably started building about the infrastructure for it and the thought process. And
no, it's for the planning. For how long did the planning take? How long?
Planning probably took like 3 months or so. Jesus. No, but it wasn't like every day, of course, but like, you know, mixed in. And then like probably from a master developer, like another 1 month of planning, just like thinking flow charts, literally.
Yeah, like, actually,
this is how the data flows around, and you know, when I move this button, this happens, blah, 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 and all the things, right? Like it literally looks like a flow chart that starts from here and it moves the data around as the order comes back and the tracking and the auto ordering, and it hits this database and that, right? So like, so that probably took him a month, even after he had our layout. And then the build is probably going to be like, you know, it's hard to say because it's.
No, okay, go back. So wait. No, go back to one thing. The master developer that takes a month and a half to build out the flow chart and all this stuff. What type of salary or what type of hourly rate or monthly rate does someone like that require? And I say that because there are a lot of people who say, yeah, I can just make a piece of software, blah, blah, blah. That one person that planned that for a month and a half. Yeah. What type of rate would someone like that charge?
It's funny you said that because I had somebody message into the chat the other day on the website, and I'm the one that answers that chat at 9 o'clock at night when everybody else is not there. You know, when I feel like it, and which is always. I will almost, if I'm awake, I will answer that chat.
Right.
And so the question was. The first thing was I'm sick and tired of the software that I'm currently using. You know, can you support my business? I said, of course, yes. How many listings? 50,000. Okay, that's a lot. What's that going to cost you? I said, I don't know off the top of my head. Probably like $3,000 a month. Cool. That's 3 times what I'm spending right now. Okay, great. You know, but it's probably 10 times better, right? There's a reason why you messaged me here. It's because you're not happy with your $1,000 a month software,
right?
What kind of revenue doing? 700,000 a month. Cool. Cool. At 10%, that's 70 grand a month.
But no one is dropshipping on Walmart for 10% margins.
What?
No one is
Walmart. Not Walmart. Amazon.
It's Amazon. Oh, okay. Yeah. You also mentioned the guy who messed you with Walmart software as well. But go ahead.
Also, yes. He wanted both, right? So he's like, I'll start with Amazon and then I'll take on the Walmart also. Awesome. Cool. What kind of revenue? In my head, I'm doing quick calculations. Even if I wrote to him, even if you're doing 10%, 70 grand, you pay me 3 instead of 1, but you run your business like a clock.
Right.
He says to me, $3,000 a month, I could hire my own developer and build your software. I said, by all means, you should do that.
Right.
You should try. Go try. You know. So we didn't convert him. I hope he's trying to build his own software right now. And I wish him the best of luck.
Right.
Yeah. So to get back to your story, you can't get a developer for that. Not somebody that's that you're going to be able to
depend on.
You're going to be able to communicate with on a regular, right? Like you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to do that unless you have the relationship in place before. Where are you going to find that person? You're going to find them on an Upwork or something like that, which is not bad at all. Congratulations, you should do that. But something that's very important is if you're going to be hiring your own development team, you need to be able to speak their language. And while I can't speak that language fluently, I can speak it in I could speak a broken version of that language. I have a developer family member who is a partner in my business, who up until very recently has had a very, very important role in the business. He helped hire these people, these developers, who are also masters of their own trade, maybe even better than him or at the same level as him. And he's 14, 15 years into being a developer. maybe more, maybe 17 years into being a developer. But he was my liaison for a very long time until we were able to get into a groove and have a synergy between our development team and myself, where he was able to actually step back a little bit, and be like, okay, cool. Well, the developer speaks the right language and Jordan speaks a different language, but like actually they have a common language and it's English, and they can understand each other. Like they're not, but to find those people and to know that they can do that role the right way and also speak English is very difficult. And building that team is very difficult. And you should expect to spend, at least over time, upwards of $8,000 to $10,000 per month per developer.
Per developer or per senior developer, master developer? What is your
senior master developer? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you hire any beginner developers?
No, we've never done that. It's just not worth the time and the investment. We'd rather hire up and
execute cleaner.
Yeah, because you can
make less mistakes.
Save some money. You can save
everything is going to break anyway, so you might as well have people
save some out of pocket, right? But you don't really save because you have to teach a lot more, and and anyway there's a learning curve. So like expect like the first 2-3 months of bringing on a new development asset, a new developer, to be just a learning curve, a complete learning curve of like where they just where they just learn the code from the beginning to end and just like poke around and don't really do much.
Right. Okay. Yeah, guys, we'll get to that. Give me 5 more minutes. So yeah, last question. When do you estimate that the Walmart product research is there? When do you expect that the complete package would be available?
Yeah. So we just finished testing a version of the auto ordering for Amazon for the Walmart marketplace. So that the first iteration of that's done. We then realized that there's 2 different types of checkout carts. So now we have to rebuild it for the other type. There's a new version that it looks like they're rolling out. Mm-hmm. So we're there. So we have to replicate that again. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping for within the next 30 days. I'm hoping for a testing sort of environment, and then in the new year, like going full force. So that's what I'm hoping for. I was actually hoping for like earlier this month, but Walmart decided to put some sticks in our tires and ruin everybody's scraping capabilities and like a new third-party security service. Let's name them by name, Perimeter X.
Hold on, Islamic Media. We will answer your questions at the end of this. Please don't keep reposting the same thing. I'll simply block you from the chat. Thank you. Jesus. Yeah, go ahead. And okay, and what does the listing look like software-wise? Because I list manually on Walmart, and I will show you, like I'll post some guys, there are 22 guys watching this, smash the like button. There's a link in the description of free trial at units. But what does the listing look like from you guys' end so far?
Like how to list a product?
Yeah.
You know what? None of the UI was built yet. All I could tell you is that the person who's working on this is very UI focused and wants to make it as simple as possible for the team.
Yeah.
And basically, we're trying to use just UPC as the listing indicator, pull in all the rest of the data, and so like some of the similarities will be, I think we even figured out how to do like handling time delays, like lag time.
Yeah, you talked,
which is pretty cool because like on the front end of things, it's like a little bit more difficult to do that at Walmart. Yep. So probably like lag time, UPC, initial price to list. The fees are a problem from Walmart to get. They don't actually offer an API for that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like
that's crazy.
We'll probably ask the client to input them for the time. It's not really that big of a deal. Like you can see it in the Walmart seller account.
Right, you just can't
offer the information to us as developers.
And do you plan to reprice compared to the competition?
Yes, but not initially again. So like we'll probably push that over to Informed for the time being.
Yeah.
Let them deal with that because they already do Walmart. I know I made them do that. So then we'll just do the repricing for Amazon and Walmart out of there. Anybody who has existing account there, it's just like another marketplace. You can just add it, no big deal. And then when we build repricing, we'll put both of them together, Walmart and Amazon.
Okay.
And so that's slated for like repricing is slated for like, next year, like early next year, we're going to start building.
Because of the time that you have to not do it?
Yeah, exactly. We're busy building things that we're actually,
right, solving other problems that need to be solved, not just solving the same problem.
It worked out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Why did you stop building your own? Why'd you stop with Deal Genie? What was the? I think I want to get into that a little bit, right? So like we talked about the good parts of building software, and like it's challenging. It's mentally challenging for me. It's cool to build a team. It's cool for me to work with a great, smart group of people. I get a lot of benefits, but like, and for me, that was the right path. I knew what I was doing, and like I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Like I really enjoy my time and work on this. Like, what was the deciding factor for you? Like you are on the marketing end of things.
So this is the thing. I was dropshipping on eBay. I was always I have degrees in mathematics, right? When I graduated, I worked in retail for 3 months, hated it, and then made money online since. Blogging, e-com, whatever. I had one of the most expensive ebooks in 2007 for like $750 for a PDF, right? So like I was more there. E-com kind of just came in, and I knew a little bit of software, and eBay did an update. So previously, you could just refund sales if the price went up or out of stock and you wouldn't have any consequence. And then eBay just said, hey, that's going to change. And I had a friend who was a developer who had a really horrible paying job back home. And I was just like, let's try to do this. When we started, I didn't even know what SaaS meant. You see what I'm saying? So the learning curve, now that I look back, I think I was a lunatic people starting. And I'm also even more proud of myself to go through that madness. Because like you're trying to build a piece of software as a service and you don't know what software as a service is. Like I didn't even know it meant anything. And I'm building it in a bubble in Nicaragua where I have no friends who are doing this anyway. And me and Quasi just in a house just working 20 hours a day for a very long time. And I did not see, I saw the writing on the wall and how quickly eBay was changing. And when I stopped selling it, we were making tens of thousands of dollars a month profit, but it took me a long time to understand how long it will take and how big the opportunity is, but it quickly showed me that like, I couldn't tell how much longer it was going to last, so I wasn't sure how much time and money I was willing to dump into it, and my partner at the time wanted different things. Like he wanted to like, more chill, just make enough to smoke weed on the beach type of thing. And I was always an entrepreneur, so I wanted to build something big. And at that point, I could not estimate how big it would get, but I thought I could not get big. There were certain indicators that was just like, okay, let me pull back and kind of like, that's why I asked you where you're going. You see what I'm saying? Because
and so you factored that like, okay, without a technical partner, you'd have to come out of pocket X amount per month. And when would you see the ROI on that was the question.
And I wasn't sure if I was willing to manage a big team myself, a big technical team myself. Because we went down that road. I hired 3, 4, 5 developers. We developed the Amazon software, right? And we didn't publish it, right? Like I did that stuff. And I just, that's not my core competency. And I was doing okay, but I was like, okay, what I did is, we had a decent software that solved 1 or 2 specific problems, and my insane work ethic and marketing built up, had a big part to play in the sales. So I had to figure out how I could put myself in a position to focus on that. So that's why, and the road, I learned a lot. So when I see people like you and Kafir and what you all are building, I admire it because I know what it takes. but I think I know how to sell it better than most people because you guys are so focused on stuff that I know is supposed to happen because I know how I'm going to sell it after. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of why I was just like, okay, let me pull back and let me find. So even when I first started to use you guys' software and I started back doing videos and stuff and playing with it and digging and looking like, oh, that's kind of like, but I'm digging and looking to see what solves specific problems and how we market it and sell it, right? So like that is a very weird space. It's a very weird, in my opinion. When I've never had a real job. Like I have one real job before, right? So I'm just an entrepreneur, and it's a very weird competency to have. And it was just like, okay, let me just, and I live in a cheap country, so I could take the time to I could pull back and test, and then decide, okay, I want to fit there. And I think, an example, I knew kind of Walmart was coming up and the opportunity to jump in. I was just like, okay, now I see another thing that has a huge opportunity. So that's why I stopped, and that's why I'm in this kind of space now. But we've been talking for an hour already. And I know a lot of these guys want to ask questions. So guys, I know if you guys, first of all, smash the like button. We've been here for an hour. There's a link in the description to OA Genius free trial. We are now, they will be launching their full Walmart software. I'm going to continue to be doing live product research on Walmart and a couple Amazon, but we're taking a step back because we have a kind of secret project for you guys I'm not going to talk about. But yeah, smash the like button and throw out some questions. I can scroll up. Okay, let me start.
Walmart is really a huge opportunity. Unlike some of the others that but I think it's one of the biggest opportunities that we're gonna see in the next 5 to 10 years in e-commerce.
Dude, it's the biggest opportunity in dropshipping I've ever seen in the 9 years I've been here. And this is not my opinion. You're not paying paid ads and you're getting 30 to 50% margin. That does not make sense. I can be like, woohoo, let's make a lot of money. I'm more like, this shouldn't be happening. It's happening, right? But it's a very
it's definitely happening. I'm seeing it across the board. I consulted with two guys. Two guys consulted with me about this opportunity last week. We talked them through the whole thing. It wasn't cheap for them, to say the least. But they said that they both had the same goal, and that's to double their investment within the month. So whatever the consulting costs them, double it within the month. And I said, I don't think that should be a problem.
Right.
And then the next week after that, one of the guys messaged me and said, I was wrong about what I said. This past week, I already sold 3,000, right, at 30% margins, and I was projecting 15 to 20%, 15 to 25% margins. He said, I sold 3,000 at 30% margins in this past couple of weeks.
Really? Yeah.
Okay, so he's like, yeah. So I'm right there. This is a much bigger opportunity than I thought it was going to be. So and that was somebody who went from literally from zero, from no sales, and ramped up a week.
Yeah, and what he's using you guys product sourcing tool?
Using us for the sourcing, yes.
That's why.
Not for inventory. Obviously, we don't have any of that yet. But he's using a whole mix of other things that we taught him how to use.
The inventory. I'm using Ecom Dash and some other stuff, and it's a pain in the nuts.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's how it is. So this opportunity is just crazy. And it's actually, I think it's bigger than I even know that is. I'm blown away by the thing. It's a lot of traffic that's being driven. Today Walmart's site was down. And here's a good one. I challenged my team to do auto ordering on the PS5 drops.
Oh God, yeah.
They dropped 4 or 5 times throughout the day today.
Wow.
But one of the drops took down the Walmart account.
This side, yeah.
Walmart.com. Sorry.
Right.
And so we managed to get a few PS5s in our carts. None of them actually went through. I'm not actually convinced anybody got any of them.
Right.
Because we actually were getting errors that we're moving too quickly, like too many requests to add them to the cart and stuff like that, and we were like making adjustments along the way. So like we get into like these fun hacky things like every once in a while. And I was like, oh, you think we can order like 10 PS5s to my house or something? Yeah. And they're like, yeah, let's try it. So. But anyway, that just shows you how much clout they have, how much traffic they're generating, and just like if you look at it, it's like so much traffic, so many sales, so little sellers. Like
and check this. There's a guy that I talked to, account rep that I talk to regularly on Walmart, and I don't talk to him as market because I don't like them knowing I'm a marketer, right? I posted one of our conversations in the groups. But I was asking them on an estimate how many new stores that they get in a month right now, because their team is only about 30 people or 30 or 40 people in India that communicate with the account owners now. And he was like, they're only seeing maybe like 100 new accounts a month right now. And I was like, I don't understand. What are you talking about? And that's weird. Like it's not weird because the process to go through is a pain, but the opportunity is crazy. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to do a couple questions. Let me see. What is this? No, I'm trying to, why do I do this? So what platforms does OA support? That's T. Carlson.
Yeah, platforms, meaning marketplaces or?
Well, let's go suppliers for it. Well, there are 13 suppliers, but what marketplaces do you currently support?
So currently we support just Amazon as a marketplace, Amazon.com that is, as a marketplace, as a selling platform, and we're working diligently to release Walmart as well right now. We do support Walmart marketplace drop shipping for sourcing with our Gravity plan. And the products that it's sourcing from, the place that it's sourcing from is from Amazon.
Okay. Let's see what else. Are you a developer? That's
I'm not a developer myself. I've never written more than one line of code, which is really basic HTML. I can dig through basic HTML, and I can read some code, but to write it would be very difficult for me. And that's why if you plan to build any software or develop software, either I would strongly suggest taking on a technical partner or being ready to pay for a technical liaison like consultant.
And you had a technical partner for a long time.
Yeah, and I still do. I mean, he's my partner. He's just less involved.
Okay.
Just because the team has evolved at this point, and I'm able. Once the team is there, other team members can help you hire and integrate new people into the team. But actually putting together the initial team or identifying your first developer, the person who's going to actually do the work, is some of the most difficult challenges that we've had.
Okay. All right. This is the Islamic media that posted 1 million times.
Yeah.
Engineers working actually on Walmart is good, but other stuff like Zoro, Home Depot, etc. accuracy is not good. Why? Now, first of all, try to quantify not good, because when you're talking about accuracy, I personally don't like to say accuracy and not good. Like,
I don't even. So please just follow up on that message.
Yeah. So Islamic media, follow up and see.
Yeah, I would say I'll call fake news on that.
Yeah, I would too.
I think actually Zoro, Home Depot might even be more accurate than Walmart at this point, just because Walmart has so many security measures in place, and like we literally had to break down walls to like figure out our ways around auto ordering and these bot detection services that they've implemented out of some of the most sophisticated countries in the world who do cybersecurity and everything else. So yeah, I mean, I'm willing to argue that Walmart is less accurate than Zoro, Home Depot, and all the rest. And while we say less accurate, I mean, there's just within the time of the scrapes and stuff like that, like Zoro, Home Depot, and other stores right now, they don't have the same security measures and capacity in place as Walmart does. So we continuously work on Walmart scraping and iterate on that code, probably almost daily at this point, since they implemented that software. So. Okay.
I'm sorry, as how many subscribers do you have? I guess it's subscribers to OA Genius. I do have to give an exact amount, but more than 1,000, more than 5,000.
Yeah,
10,000.
More than 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe more than 5,000. I'm not sure yet.
All right, so Mark, I got your email and I got your number, and I want to call you right after this, right? If you're in front of a computer, Mark, aren't you the guy selling on Walmart that wanted to be a beta tester for the OA Genius software? Am I correct, Mark? And if that's the case, you should jump on a live with us. That will actually be interesting.
Yeah, so I see that. Cool. Yeah, well, Mark, we will definitely get you into the beta testers. Good question on the Home Depot, Zoro, and all the other suppliers.
Yeah, I just put the question. Can we use
initial iteration will be Amazon as a supplier, because the most demand is there. But I really see a huge opportunity with the other suppliers as well, maybe even bigger than Amazon, and more long-term than Amazon, just because then it's not going to be coming in an Amazon box. You don't have to deal with AMZL, TBA tracking numbers, and all the rest. So I would think of Amazon as a more short-term solution where you can crank out like a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, exactly.
You're thinking like from a long-term perspective, how can I be in this business for a long time? Figure out which other suppliers you can use.
All right. Can you sell on Walmart if you're a foreign company who has not sold? So do you want to answer? I will answer that. Yes.
Yeah, that's you. I don't actually know the answer to that.
So
I'm sure it's true.
What is very interesting is that as a foreign company or individual, you can. Walmart now has a W-8, so a whole tax process to qualify to get approved. You can set up a U.S. corporation as a foreigner, and their payment method is PayPal and Payoneer. So you're not restricted. You're not even restricted to certain countries that cannot get a full U.S. bank account, like Nicaragua, which I think is very, very interesting. And I'm in the process. So I have U.S. accounts, right? And we set up a couple of accounts for 2 clients who are in Europe, in the U.S. But I am trying to do this process from Nicaragua to have 100% proof. Because the interesting thing about Nicaragua, even some of the banks that work with foreigners as U.S. company owners do not work with Nicaragua and a couple of other countries. And I want to have an actual case study of that opportunity that Walmart is now opening up to the world, but there are more dots to I's to dot and T's to cross. But to answer your question, yes.
And that's different than Amazon, right? Like
much different.
Yeah, Amazon, you have to have a US-based corporation or LLC or whatever it may be.
No, but not just that. Even if you have a US-based corporation and you are owner from one of the countries that they don't allow, you can't verify your identity because it wouldn't take the passport from that country as a personal identification, even if you're using a U.S. corporation.
You need a person based out of the U.S. with a U.S. passport or driver's license.
Okay, like for instance, if you're from Trinidad and Tobago, you can open a U.S. corporation and use a Trinidad and Tobago passport for identity verification. But if you're from Nicaragua, one of the other countries that you're not allowed to, even with your passport is not going to work. So there are countries that don't need a U.S.
The verification process isn't it passport or like driver's license or something like that?
With Amazon, yeah.
So you could do driver's license. I mean, you don't necessarily need a U.S. based I think
no, but what I'm saying is you could live in Trinidad and Tobago and use a foreign passport and never go to the US and get approved.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying.
I wonder what it's like if like you're already selling on like Amazon.mx, right? Like those are so integrated, MX, US and Canada.
Right.
Like you just you then can.
No, you can.
That's pretty easy, right? Like I think the problem is if you want to start with opening in the US.
Right. No, but you still can, like even Mexico.
No, what would be the point of that, right? Like if you lived in Europe, for example, why don't you just open up a UK Amazon.uk account and then
but the problem is when you do that, they force you to have very high handling time and they don't allow you to put the location where the item is coming from in the US. They force your handling time on Amazon cannot be lowered to a certain amount. If like, I'll give you an example. We have a client from Canada, right? Mm-hmm. She has an Amazon.ca account. When we're listing on Amazon.com, we can't lower the handling time, I think lower than 8 days or something higher than if you have a US account. Mm-hmm. And that lowers the amount of sales you can get because of how much handling time you have to put.
Got you. So it's assuming that it's coming from that place.
Yeah.
Not like, unless it's FBA, of course.
Right. Yeah.
Got you. All right, let's move on.
All right. So yeah, guys, if you don't have any more questions, I have to get off, and Jordan and I have to talk about a couple of things. Look out. We'll jump back on next week. We're working on something for some of you guys. What are you looking at?
Jay wrote, okay, question. Now he's got to be tired. Talking about me, I probably spoke a lot in like one short clip, like a long sort of like stretch of words. I tend to do that sometimes. No, I'm not tired. I'm never tired.
Yeah, Jay, shoot me an email. I'll put my email there. Mark, stay close to your phone because I have a call with Jordan right after this, but I think it'll be cool if I reach out to you. So stay close to your phone. I'll call you. Give me like 30 minutes max. Mark.
I don't think that's your email, Mark, is it?
Oh, no. My bad. Sorry. That's not it. Mark at DSG. Where's the I? This bloody thing. What is this? What did that person say?
Save wants to know about marketing strategies for OA Genius. So like to market different pieces of software. Yeah, I could talk about that a little bit. I'll do it really quickly. So like, and I'm not like a front man, showman, like type of marketing guy. I'm probably not that interesting for most people to look at and like be like, I want to be exactly like that guy. Like, I don't have a bunch of Lamborghinis behind me. As you can see, I have a nice white wall, and all the rest. I guess I let my expertise in the industry speak for me, which is less interesting than Lamborghinis and Ferraris. And so that marketing tactic isn't going to work for me because I can never be that guy.
Right.
I like Lamborghinis and Ferraris. I just don't have them in my marketing content. And so for that reason, that was never the marketing strategy for myself or for my software. We go the route of being the subject matter experts in things and building, letting the tools that we build speak for ourselves. But certainly, even if you have good tools that nobody knows about, you're not going to be very successful. And so what we do is we do something called inbound marketing. And we try to use the technical piece of the marketing world, which is the search engine optimization and link backs and all of that. And so we try to write a bunch of content that is indexable and searchable, both on our website and in our blog, and write articles in different highly searched websites around the web. So like Quora and Medium and all these other places where we're posting content like this, in addition to our own blog and all the rest. And so that's what's driving a large majority of our traffic. We also do a large bit of paid advertisements. Highly targeted traffic. I have a veteran marketing personnel on my team that's just like a genius when it comes to like automated marketing sequences and stuff like that. Nothing tricky or salesy. Again, just like a lot of good informational type stuff. And so those automations go out, and that's how we get a lot of interactions with our clients. And they get to learn more about our software and all the rest, and all of our non-clients as well. We keep a communication with them. And I think like the thing about us is we try to give really good customer service and customer success. So like from the second that you sign up with our software or make contact with us, we try to make it the most valuable experience for you, and try to give you as much value as you possibly can get. And so that's been a very successful, post-marketing sort of play for us.
Okay, Tammy said she tried to mess me and she can't get on. What's the question about the Walmart account? Do you want to ask here? I can answer it here really quickly if you like. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this Walmart thing. The data that I've seen, the product research I've seen, the accounts I've seen, the accounts I've sniped. It's amazing.
I think I could sell $1 million year one. No problem.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I think I could sell $1 million in the first 6 months if I did it.
Because of the time difference and what it will take to build out the store compared to what it is now, most definitely.
Yeah.
$1 million 6 months.
Yeah. If this guy that I haven't even tried it, if he's telling me 30% margins, if I could do 20%, I'm doing $1 million in the first 6 months, no questions asked. Yeah.
You're giving me a challenge for the first 6 months of next year. Maybe I'll take one from zero. It'll be interesting. Exactly. It'll be an interesting case study, and to make 250 grand.
Yep.
All right, guys. So look out for what we do in the future. We'll be coming out with some stuff. I need to have a call. Jordan, when we jump off the live, give me like 15 minutes. Walmart is not showing many items. It's sold to purchase. It isn't easy like eBay or Amazon. Yeah.
No. Use the data from here. Here's a quick tip. Use the data from Amazon to get an idea of what's going to sell on Walmart. Factor off, a certain percentage. Take 50% off the table. There are already tools that'll tell you how much it's selling on Amazon, and you'll be very happy with the results. Very happy. Even if you get in 30% of the sales, who cares? If you get 30% and your margins are 5 times how much, guys, this is dropship. You're not holding inventory. List 100,000 products. What is wrong with you people? My most successful clients have more than 20,000 listings. Everybody's worried about spending $1,000 a month on software. They're spending $1,500, $2,000 on software, but they're making 50,000 plus a month. So. It just doesn't make any sense. Just list as much as you can. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. Farouk, right now we are not I'm not opening up automation just because we are creating accounts for people. We are slowly managing a couple of accounts. We are looking at the data. We're not charging a ton of money. It's $2,000 creating an account. If we manage it, you don't pay any extra to manage it. But we are putting the systems in place and taking it slowly because this opportunity is way too big. The margins are way too big to rush into it. And I think too many of the automation services on the internet are making claims that they know how long it's going to last and charging tens of thousands of dollars. And although you can make a lot of money immediately, I think it's disingenuous to charge 10, 20 grand when you don't know if you'll be managing this account for 2 years yet. Because you're not just learn it yourself. Learn it yourself. We're going to have all the automation you want, actual automation. On the software, actual automation. You want to work less and make more. Handing your business off to somebody else may not have those results. It probably won't, in fact. But you could end up working 1 hour a day or 2 hours. Did you read the blog that I did not post yet? You just said something that's anyway, we'll talk about that. So anyway, whatever. I mean, automation stuff is great and like whatever, like, but don't expect the type of results that you're going to be able to get. And like, and the softwares that we're going to release are going to be pretty automated. So like between that and like a small virtual assistant team that you have to manage, like you can make a really nice bit of money and work an hour a day if you want to, or less.
All right, so let me say another thing, Farouk. Let me say another thing to that, right? I personally run an Amazon automation business, and we manage a couple of Walmart accounts, right? What I've noticed is that one of my responsibilities are to hire entrepreneurial-minded account managers to manage the accounts and give them the biggest part of the profit share, because you need that type of person to properly own what they do every day and be self-motivated and all this type of stuff. And the only reason I've learned that is because I personally train my guys and it's in-house, and I've fired more than 500 people over the past 5 or 6 years in this business. And I think that is one of the hardest things and almost impossible to get from a company that's just outsourcing to some other company that's somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Because it's a very specific type of person that would consistently make profit. And they need to own the profit. They need to own a good portion of it. They need to be motivated by that. Mm-hmm. And it's a weird mix of like owning that process. I try to hire guys, like when people join our Done For You, I have to explain over and over and over. Like I am not going to be able to talk to you every day. And I try to hire people that will own their actions every day. So and my goal is to be a coach and make sure they're motivated and incentivized and keep going like that. And I get the smallest part of the profit for that. And that is the only way I have found to have higher success. And it's hard. And it's hard to find that personality. And it's hard to find that human. And it's even harder to find that remotely. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go through more of the pros and cons, what to look at, but it's just something that I was writing in the blog that touched on that point, Farouk. But if you want to apply for us to open an account, go to wmpassive.com, just because you asked. I'll write it. wmpassive.com. Is that it? No, I put MW. Where is it? All right. wmpassive. All right, guys.
I think we're done.
I was trying to be done. So guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're on Facebook, jump on YouTube and like the video. Jordan and I have work to do. Jordan, give me 10 or 15 minutes.
You got it.
And I'll send you a Zoom link. Mark, stay by your phone or computer, because Jordan, are you after our 15, 20-minute calls? If we could get Mark on Zoom, are you willing to do that or no?
I would love to. I need to be somewhere at 6 my time.
So we don't have a lot of time. So let's
so we could do a couple minutes and then we get on with Mark if he wants to, and then, but we got to do that.
All right, cool. All right, guys, subscribe to the channel. Look for the link in the description to the free